everybody. Welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on today. But before we get started, go right down here, go in your settings, find your subscribe button, and go ahead on and subscribe. Get it over with, get it done. And while you're in there, hit your notification bell so you know when I upload or when I just want to pop in, and give me a thumbs up to fight my nemesis. We all know what it is. It's that unrelenting beast of an algorithm. I really, really would appreciate it. And right here, that is my join button, and that is for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and join our reading club, you will support my little channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I would be so grateful for that support. I really would. All right. With all that said, let's get to the read. When I was putting the read together today, you know where I was in these internet streets. And I'm going to tell you, the internet streets are hopping. They are hot today. They are busy. I wasn't in a lot of places today because it was just so much good stuff going on over at X. I was over at Instagram a little bit, but X was the place to be today. And I was right over there throwing some hands too, because there was some folks on there talking foul. So I had to throw some hands, a little hands, and the squatties was, whew, they was in full force. And also, I was over at Spaces too, listening to what the squatties had to say about all of the goings on that's been going on today. And we're going to discuss all of that a little later, but it's something I want to do first, okay? I want to talk about my podcast from yesterday. I did a read, a little short read, because I had so much with you know, with the goings on with them just attacking Megan so much about her attending a private event, and all them other folks over there doing all kinds of stuff, like the king was doing something, him and his horse. I think it was Beatrice or Eugene was in South Korea. Zara was at a horse show. I mean, everybody was doing stuff, but it seems like Megan can't even do nothing in private. A day, 2 days, a year, 3 years before the Queen's anniversary. It is the most ridiculous thing. So all these attacks was coming her way. So I covered that too. But I also brought up this article that one of my readers in my comments the day before had talked about seeing and saying how vile it was, and asked me could I go over and take a look at it. And I did. And I did the read on it. Well, some of the people in the comments today was saying that can't be a real article. It has to be a spoof. And when y'all start saying that, I start questioning myself a little bit. I said, let me go back, because I don't want to be like Big Tooth, formerly Little Tooth, and Pie Face, and you know them other folks. But anyway, I don't want to be like them. I want to make sure I'm trying to do the very best I can to tell you what I know and what I don't know. And if y'all correct me, if y'all notice in the comments, if I get something wrong and y'all correct me, I'll be like happy about that, because I don't want to steer anybody wrong. So I went back to the article. I said, maybe I'm just looking at it wrong. Maybe it's something that's, I'm interpreting it wrong. So I went back to the article. And the name of the article is Prince Harry. You would have to leave Meghan behind, but here's how a royal return could work. That is the name of the article. And it's by Melanie McDonough. And I'm going to put her face right here. This old worn out saddlebag right here, this vile, vicious old witch, is what wrote this. And you can tell by the tone of my voice that it was not a spoof. because I reread it and then I went into the comments, and the people in the comments interpreted it as it being real and not a spoof. It's nothing in it that even insinuates that she is kidding. This vile old, I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna go on because I get started and that's the name of the article. Prince Harry, which you would have to leave Meghan behind, but here's how a royal return can work, like he would want to come. But let's not worry about that. It She first starts off talking about referring to this article, that nonsense article that was written 2 weeks ago in the Fail about how Harry wants to come back and his friends are calling it operation, operation bring Harry in from the cold. And so she's trying to give him advice, what he needs to do to come in from the cold from her point of view. This old, I'm just hag. I'm gonna say it. This old hag. Anyway, these are the things she said, and she lists them from A, B, C, and on. And we're going to just touch on them a little bit just to refresh your memory. And then we're going to look into the comments so you'll know that I did not misinterpret this. This vile old piece of work here, she meant what she said. She is just that diseased of mind. Let's go on. It says, A, you would have to you could not even include your lovely wife. You would have to get it. She's saying he would have to get an annulment of the marriage, or they would have to live on separate continents for all of this to work. You would have to get an annulment of a marriage who has two children in it in order to go back to that nonsense over there that they call a family. So you can be Williams plus one. So you can be his scapegoat again, so you can be his whooping boy again, so you can be the person that he throws under the bus when his affairs or anything else shows up that they want to distract from. That's what she's saying. B, she said, your children are not problematic. So Archie and Lily, they not problematic. And what you need to do is bring them over here so they can see Charles and they can have lovely pictures taken of them with Charles. So it would be lovely press images, she says. Use them so Charles can use the kids to bolster his image as a grandfather, and also the press can make money. Let's go on. She says, work ruthlessly on your father's Christian faith. What Christian faith that Charles had? Charles is an adulterer. Charles Charles had a beautiful wife and two beautiful children, and he chose to have an affair with a horse. And then not only did he choose to have an affair with his horse, with a horse, she wasn't his horse at that point. She was somebody else. Somebody else was riding her. The Parker Bowles guy was riding her then. So she wasn't his horse, but with somebody else's horse. And his wife, beautiful as she was, he did everything to destroy her and eventually did. And then what does he do in return? He takes the man's horse and marries that horse and makes her queen. And so he, uh, Harry has to appeal to his Christian, what did she say, his Christian faith? Stop it. Stop it. It's too funny. And then she said, it seems clear that your brother can't stand you. And he lets it be known that he wouldn't invite you to his coronation. So you need to eat mud, come back and be prepared to do the very smallest of tasks like shaking hands with hsn h what is it, nhs workers and working with veterans because you're good with that, and doing the various smallest things, ribbon cuttings and stuff like that, something that Megan would not be caught dead at, the very little small things. And then maybe if we saw you cheerfully doing that, then you could win our hearts and minds back. That's what this old saddlebag said. All right, let's go on. She said, and he needs to, what's really important, he needs to suck up to Anne. Princess Anne said he said, well, she said Anne is the model royal. She's hardworking. She is the model royal. And he needs to take a page from evidently Anne and say, get on her good side because everybody's scared of her. But I tell you something that's not scared of her. That horse who he kicked her in the head, he didn't have no problem with her. He wasn't scared of her. I go on. It says cheer. Also, he needs to cheer up, and he needs to understand that because of his book, it's known now that the royals are very uh, terrified of becoming marginalized and redundant and unloved. And he is the key because he has charisma and he can help out on that. He's not like his uncle, boring Uncle Edward. That's what this old saddlebag said. And it says, do not even attempt to include the Duchess in the deal. Forgiveness has its limits. So I don't think I misinterpreted. It is just that mean, just that vile, just that horrible as I thought in what I said. And let's go to the comments. This is one of the comments from David. It says, the royal return would work for whom, Melanie Madonna? It certainly wouldn't work for his young children who he loves and would certainly be devastated. Harry knows what it's like to lose a parent while still a child, but you suggest he should inflict that loss on much younger children. If he follows your advice, I suspect you would be the first in line to point out his gross hypocrisy. And his wife, why would he desert a woman he loves? And why would you suggest that he should? Harry's return would work for whom's benefit? Our amusement. One more person to open hospitals and dress up to walk a part in the Gilbert and Sullivan operette or riding a horse. Ate her up, didn't leave no crumbs. All right, the next one said, what a very odd but totally predictable biased word salad. And to think they pay you for this. And the next one says, seems Melanie Madonna really has lost the plot. Must be after a job at the Hale, and you see how they spelled it, or the Torograph. They ate her up. I did not misinterpret it. It's what she said. She's a vile old wicked witch, or should I say, a flying monkey that she is. So, yes. And I am going to say this, and then I'm done with this particular article. I said about 2 or 3 podcasts ago that Harry and Meghan is winning. But what we have saw this weekend, and this vile woman writing this article just out there for everybody to see, God and everybody, how vile and vicious they are to this couple. This goes to show why it's important for us to push back. Even though we're winning, we can't let up. We have to keep our foot on the gas when it comes to these folks because these people are evil and they are out to destroy this couple and its two and their two babies. And the only thing standing between that happening is the Sussex Squad. We have to be vigilant. All right, let's go on and we'll talk about the things that happened today. Well, I was minding my business and this popped up from the BBC. It says, Princess of Wales say in a video message that she has completed chemotherapy treatment and has renewed appreciation for life. And I'm going to reach over here and get some. I had jotted some of my thoughts down when I saw that. And I thought, this whole thing, this orchestrated Hallmark card of a video comes from Kensington Palace. And Kensington Palace has the reputation of North Korea for its propaganda and lies. And I thought, in this video, she says she's cancer free. She done had chemotherapy. And that would be laughable if they wasn't serious. This woman is walking down over wheat fields like she is on the TV show Little House on the Prairie. And her and her kids and her husband just frolicking and all this lovey-dovey, all this. And it is ridiculous. It is cringe-worthy. I'll get it out in a minute. It's cringe-worthy. It's the most ridiculous thing I ever saw, and it is a challenge to your intellect, to say the least. They want us to believe that this woman has suffered a long months and months of chemotherapy. And she is now frolicking with a head full of hair. Hair looks, I don't know what kind of chemotherapy, what kind of treatment for cancer her and Charles is getting, but it is just not realistic when it comes to what I have saw of people who have really been in a battle for their lives. I'm just saying, I just think that they think we're stupid. They either stupid or they think we stupid. I don't know which one it is. But it's somebody stupid here. But they got it wrong when they think people are going to swallow this nonsense. Just saying. And also, my thoughts was that it's coordinated. The attacks on Meghan this weekend, the attacks on Harry. Harry's 40th birthday is coming up. And they are in a frenzy, losing their minds about this man who lives 5,000 miles away in Montecito, California. But they are losing their mind on that island over there. And William and Kate sees that. And all of a sudden, it's just attack on Meghan and Harry. And we got Zara over here. She was at a horse show. Charles and his horse was on at an event. And I think it was Beatrice or Eugenie was in South Korea doing something. Everybody was doing something before the Queen's anniversary or during the Queen's on that day of her death. But all of a sudden, they want to attack Harry and Meghan. Not all of a sudden, that's all they do. And then after that vicious attack this weekend, all of a sudden here she pops up with this Hallmark card of a video. we want to absolutely villainize Harry and Meghan and prop up William and Kate. Here's the video. Y'all need to love them. Hate the people in California, waiting in California that minding their own business. Hate them. But prop up this couple who is just as fake as a $2 bill. I mean, that was the most cringe-worthy thing I ever saw. I'm telling you, it was like watching Kate on the Little House on the Prairie. Watching her on that. It was she up there touching wheat, holding it in her hands, rolling around, eating a piece of cheese. William eating a piece of cheese, having a picnic. They need to stop with that erectile dysfunction video. The person who makes those videos over here, I don't know if y'all have them in the UK, but we have videos just like that for erectile dysfunction. I'm just saying. So that was my thoughts. I thought it was BS, straight up cringe-worthy BS, and it was coordinated to do as what they do all the time, try to prop up these two mediocre people and try to take away from the people like Harry and Meghan who actually has some substance and is actually showing them up for what they are. But I want to talk about what the squatty said, what I found on X, and we'll talk about it. All right. Under that picture, it says, weird. I have never seen anybody who actually had cancer, gone through chemotherapy, created a whole Hallmark like commercial to show how they are still part of a happy family after treatment. These people have no shame. They don't. They have no shame whatsoever. And this made up nonsense about Kate having cancer is a joke. It is an insult to our intelligence. This woman has not had cancer. And I'm saying it out loud. I don't believe it. It is no signs that this woman has ever had cancer. She pulled a cancer card. This is my belief. She pulled a cancer card because it is so unusual the two people that was outed as the royal races both has cancer, and neither one has lost a hair on their head. I think her and Charles has more hair on their head. They haven't lost a pound. Charles still got his childbearing hips, and she looks like she's picked up a pound or two. She actually looks healthier than she did before she supposedly got cancer. I have never saw so much hair on a one woman's head before in my life. Let's go on. This one says, because the masses weren't believing the cancer story, now we have got a full Romeo and Juliet production. If all fail, bring out the children. That's true. And that's what I was talking about before. That's why they want Archie and Lily. They want to use the children. The children have been used since the beginning of time. Harry and William was used. Now William is using his children, and they want to use Harry's children. This is so true. Let's go on because I don't want to go too long. This one. Kate Middleton never bothered to show up to an engagement for months because she was too sick to go to charities to shake hands, but not to Wimbledon or a hat party, meaning Trooping of the Color. Now the proposed preventive chemo is done. Kate, let's do a film of me frolicking in the forest. Totally, absolutely unhinged. Where is the lie? I mean, let's go on. This one says, I love it. This video is another nail in their coffin because anybody with any kind of intellect, two brain cells, anybody who's able to understand 2 plus 2 equals 4 knows that this is a bunch of crap. It said, let me go on it. It says, love it. The video is another nail in their coffin. The House of Windsor is doomed with those two idiots at the helm, always hiding behind their kids with their fakery. And that's all it is, fakery. Next one says, this is a mess. A head full of hair or weave, who knows? No mess of weight loss, jumping and rolling around, but still touchy on if she can presume work duties. I'm afraid the people of England has been had. They have. And they had to run him a check for $30 million. He hadn't done anything, and she hadn't done anything. But yet and still, people can't pay to stay warm this winter. I mean, it is such a con job. And they want to call Harry and Meghan grifters who actually work for their living. These two, they throw out the cancer card, and neither one of them have the ability to do anything. It's a bunch of fake nonsense. All right, this one. It says, don't you find it funny? A full Hallmark card HD movie to announce the end of chemo, but not a single thank you to the doctors or nurses who supposedly help you. But my God, that woman's superpower knows no bound. Now she's going to try her best to stay free of cancer, as if cancer is something you walk into. If cancer is to the left, I'll try and walk to the right. Who advised these people? Having cancer isn't like being an alcoholic. The movie gave the whole game away. It did. It is the most ridiculous thing. I cannot believe that they thought that was a good idea. And it says, who on earth is doing PR for Kensington Palace? It's so odd. I hope Kate recovers. This woman is actually a person who believes it. She says she hopes he recovers, but especially for her children. However, a quick press conference with Will saying that his wife is feeling better and hopes to see you all soon would have been sufficient. The video is extremely strange and it does not reflect typical cancer experiences. Of course it's not, because ain't nobody got cancer. Ain't nobody keeping all their hair, I mean, and tan and looking terrific having cancer who has been in the fight for their lives. And ain't nobody keeping their childbearing hips like Charles is either. So they can just stop that. All right, this one says, but she has always been cancer free. She said that herself. I guess she's been doing a great job staying cancer free. Aha. I'm gonna say this. You remember when she was on the bench? She said that cancer had been found, and it was it was pre what preventative chemotherapy to prevent cancer from coming back. Now she's saying she cancer free. Which is it? Did you have cancer then, or what is going on here? They cannot keep their lies straight. It's ridiculous. And I said all that to say this. These people are insulting our intelligence. I am an American. It has nothing to do with me. I don't pay my taxes. My taxes don't go to them or anything like that. But you better believe it would last about as long as the second hand can get all the way around to 12 over here to pay for people like that to live a lavish lifestyle and do nothing. It would not it would not happen. It ain't no way we would run anybody a $30 million check and they don't do nothing but sit around and pretend like they got cancer. And Charles, they ran Charles a $60 million check. That's above what he was already getting. And these people has dirty water and I'm not saying America we don't have our ills and we don't have homeless people and all that. We absolutely do. But we are not running a bunch of grifters checks like that for free. And the UK really, really, really needs to think about it if they should continue. All right, I want to talk about Harry and Netflix being as gangster as it was because right after Kate frolicked through all of the grain and the wheat and her and William rolled around on the picnic, uh, the picnic, what I guess blanket and all that, and pretend like they really liked each other. Netflix dropped a little ditty about Harry's new polo show. And the meltdown started with all of those deranged psychos who really thought that since Netflix dropped that, it somehow was going to overshadow Kate's cancer because they know cancer is the only way for Kate to get any kind of attention. If you know you have to be so mediocre that you have to go to the extreme of having cancer for anybody to care about anything that's coming out of your mouth. And I didn't care about what was coming out of her mouth now because I don't believe she has cancer. But I digress. And they started to melt down. And so one of the squatties tweeted this. It says, I called it the Derangers meltdown is in effect. And we all know who this particular person is. It's Little Tooth, who is now Big Tooth because Megan paid for the teeth. And she said, really disgusting Netflix to release this on the same day as Catherine's latest cancer announcement. For those who may not know, this is Harry's documentary, which will likely be a flop. Well, if it's a flop, you should know it because that's all y'all have over that on that side is flippity flippity flops. Every book, every engagement, every trip that those folks have, and Kate and William is involved in, is a flippity flippity flop. So you should know a flop when you see it. Now, I don't think you're gonna Harry's show gonna be a flop, but if it is, you'll be the first to recognize it because you have had nothing but flops over on that side. Just saying. And it says, and then Netflix talk about the new documentary. She is upset because Netflix released that Harry's documentary was going to come out. I think it's in December, premiering in December, and it's overshadowing Kate's cancer. This is how sick these people are. And this particular squatty answered her back saying, a polo announcement is outshining their princess, telling the world she's cancer free. Do these people actually hear themselves? It's completely deranged. If a Netflix announcement get more attention than her health update, then that tells you that she's a non-factor to begin with. And that's exactly what I just said. Who cares? Nobody cares because it's all fakery from North Korea, aka Kensington Palace. And then this one, I am going to end it with two more. And it basically is about how they don't do anything but copy Harry and Meghan. When Harry and Meghan did that documentary and they had all these little interludes in there with them and the kids and stuff like that, that's when Kate and William started with theirs. They never done anything like that ever in their whole life. But all of a sudden, here they are. And it's pathetic and it's sad to watch. But anyway, this is what this squad has said. First they criticize you. I put that part in there. It said first they criticize, then they copy. And that's what they do. They get their blind monkeys and they toadies and they minions to criticize Harry and Meghan for doing something innovative. And then they turn around and copy it, but they can't copy that spark. They cannot copy that shine, and theirs come out cringe like this one did. And then this one, Harry and Meghan. Harry bending to Meghan to kiss her. What does royals first hate? What the royals first hate, the royals then copy. And we all saw how William was acting on that thing. Now he is an actor now. We all saw that. You remember when Harry was getting married and somebody asked him about how he felt about Harry being engaged and getting married. He actually acted like. And see, now we look back on it, we know he did not want Harry to marry Meghan. He did not want Harry to propose to Meghan. He did not want Harry to have Meghan. But this person in the audience or that was at his event asked him, how did he feel about Harry getting married? Oh, we're so happy. We're so happy getting married. And what I'm really happy is that he'll stay out of my fridge. Now, from now on, I won't have to worry about him eating all my food out of my fridge. And we found out from Spare, this lying person never invited Harry to come over at all. That's how much he cared about Harry. Harry said he used to sit at his window, watch the nanny with the baby, hoping that they would actually, extend the invitation. Him and Harry weren't even close enough as brothers for Harry to just drop by. He had to wait for William to extend an invitation, and he never did. And William stood up there and told that bald faced lie and said, he'll at least he'll stop eating all my food out of my fridge. Like Harry just goes in and out of his fridge and all this and it. And Harry couldn't even wrangle an invitation to dinner. All right, y'all. That is the end of my read for today. It is a lot going on. We are going to stay on watch. It's coming up that Harry's going to be in those New York streets, the NYC streets, and we are going to be on top of all of it. I cannot wait. See y'all later. Bye.